pretty.
Yeah, she will, not mine. Hey, everybody, it's Melissa. It's time again for BaaD Radio. So stay tuned. This is a behind-the-scenes radio show where we not only show you how we do the segments, but also we have a bunch of BS that we do during the breaks. But we're going to keep it short today because our guest, our host, actually has to Scooty-Doo. So
blame it on the guest, though.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to blame it.
It's my fault.
You like to blame it on the guest? Okay, so there's our people, and let's get ready to party. All right. By the way, share this with your friends if you must.
You're listening to Radio Cosmos.
All night long.
Bravo!
My compliments, little lady.
Commercial!
Break for 30 seconds.
You are now listening to BaaD Radio.
Hello and welcome to BaaD Radio. BaaD stands for Business at a Distance. This is a show about local businesses and business networking. We are here in the News Radio WFLA Orlando studios from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I am your host, Angela Smaritto, and in studio with me we have our producer, Melissa Fox.
What's up?
How are you doing today, girl?
Me? Huh? What? Wait, I want to hear that. I'm good.
I'm waiting. Oh, there you go. Next up, we have the beautiful Melissa Jacob with Striking Brand.
Hello.
Mm-hmm. So if you go to baadradio.com, you can see all the previous episodes of BaaD Radio under the episodes page because she does a beautiful job with those. And then her business, like I said, is Striking Brand. And if you go to strikingbrand.com, then you can see all of her other work because she does beautiful photography as well as videography.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. We have a new business owner to BaaD Radio today. Please welcome owner of The Drain Daddy, Bradley McWhippy.
Well, I mean, it's Drain Daddy. I didn't mean to push the giggles. I'm sorry. I'll just be over here.
Yeah, boy. Now you can talk.
Yeah, perfect. Good afternoon, ladies. How are we? How's everybody doing?
Doing very good.
Thank you for having me.
Excited to have you here because I love the name The Drain Daddy, and we're gonna have to get really into where that name came from and how it, like how people react to it, and so it's a super fun name. So I would have to come up with that. Next up, we have the networking news, and the networking news is brought to you by Symphonic CBD. Symphonic CBD is a branch of Live Your Best Life, both advocates of Green Compass Global. Green Compass products are USDA organic, lab-tested, non-GMO, made in the USA, and cruelty-free CBD products, and they are key to making calmness a habit. They also have CBD for our furry babies, which we love so much.
I need to get that for one of mine. Every storm.
Yeah, is she
storm
older
she'll
now?
shiver. No, she's little. She's little. She's like 2 or 3.
She's not a Chihuahua. They shake all the time anyway.
She's like a medium-sized mutt. But every time there's a storm, I like go to feel her. She's like, I can tell she's like up against me. I have to put there's a whole routine. I have to put a fan on, so white noise.
Yeah. No, the CBD, the Green Compass CBD has been amazing for our dog Roxy. So I'll give you that information to get some of that. And Anna is in BNI too, so it's a referral.
Sweet.
I don't you like this whole BNI is like, referral.
Pass them on.
But you can get more information about that from symphonic-cbd.com. Again, that's symphoniccbd.com. So today for the networking news, I wanted to talk about event marketing because we've talked about event marketing in the past. And when I say about event marketing, I'm talking about an outdoor festival or a concert or something where you go and there's like entertainment, but you also have booths that are set up with, people set up with table tent chairs. And have you ever done that?
I've never actually done that. I've done a couple of home shows, which I really enjoy, just being able to just talk to the people, but never a booth set up.
So the home show, that's at the convention center, right?
I've done a few out in Tampa, and I think 1 or 2 at the convention center.
Right.
Here as well.
Get a little bit closer for me.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
There we go.
I'm curious about talking about that too, but I wanted to talk today just a few minutes about the Winter Park Sidewalk Art Festival because in the past it was just the Winter Park Art Festival, and so they've added the sidewalk part to it, which is cool. But I think it had to do with like somebody had the rights to the name, so they added the sidewalk part, which, like I said, that's totally fine. It is coming up, and you guys know that it's the 65th annual.
Wow.
So it's been
time.
going on for 65 years. Have any of you guys ever been to it?
No.
What have you've heard of it though, right? The Winter Park Art festival?
No, I you know what? I have because of guests that have been on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I
But that's
feel like
okay.
they're
I
always
I
doing
wanna
stuff
go.
down there, though, right?
Yeah.
I feel
there-
like there's always something going on in Winter Park.
Well, Winter Park, there's the art festival, but they have art festivals like Winter Springs has an art festival. Maitland has an art festival. So every area Longwood has an art festival, but the Winter Park one is like the one that brings 300,000 people over 3 days.
Oh, wow.
So,
I'm just under a rock. It's not the festival's it's a me problem.
but they have like a concert and they have just different activities and events, but they also have some of the most beautiful art. And they do a lot of contesting and stuff like that for that. So it is a 3-day event. I think one of the things that people get a little shy about is just the whole parking and stuff like that for the downtown area. So, and the reason I bring this up is because Mindful Media Group, the agency that I work for, has been signed as the agency of record for the Winter Park Art
Nice.
Festival.
Beautiful.
Yes, I'm very excited about that. But what does that actually mean? That means that I get to be in charge of who is going to be presented with sponsorship opportunities. And that includes booth sponsors, the bigger sponsors, so I'm kind of looking at it as my BNI family are the people that I'm going to go to first. Because normally the businesses like that don't get the opportunity for these types of things because they go straight to the big
bigger,
boys.
right.
Because, a lot of times it's like you don't want to do the work. Morgan & Morgan has, money, and so you just go straight to Morgan & Morgan when really, you know what I mean, is in my opinion, it's going to be cool to give somebody else the opportunity.
Right.
Yeah, the little guys,
Well,
The little guys.
they are the little guys, but it's still, like I said, there is still a cost involved. But since we're getting to it so early, it's like, hey, this is how much it's going to cost. But you have 6 months to kind of like say, if I put this here for this amount of time, then I know I'm going to get that exposure.
Yeah.
But the festival is March 15th through the 17th of 2024. And again, that's a Friday
Oh, wow.
through a Sunday.
Okay.
And so it starts off with, like I said, there's music, there's food, there's so much art, and they just have like ongoing events through the whole entire thing. Not to mention it's in March, which is a beautiful time of the year.
Right. Not like now.
And
Oh,
for
yeah, it's terrible.
I hate it.
I wouldn't go to an outdoor festival right now.
I wouldn't go anywhere right now. It's terrible.
Imagine being a plumber outside most of the
Sorry.
time, in attics.
Right. But for artists, that you can apply right now, August 1st through September 25th. And so and that the website is WPSAF.org. That's .org. And then everything is in here talking about beautiful Park Avenue in Winter Park, everything like festival posters. If you want to volunteer to be part of it, that's another cool way to be able to get a lot of the benefits of being on site and being a volunteer. The organization that puts it on in Winter Park is a nonprofit as well.
Okay.
So if we have kids that are working on hours for their...
What would they do there?
They would help set things up.
Like set up the tents and stuff like that?
Yeah,
I thought the vendors had to do that.
Well, it depends.
Okay.
There are going to be actual tents for the artwork to go inside.
Okay.
Because they're like... all the artists don't have to set up their own tent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they have basically tents that some of them can, but they'll have tents that will have.
Right.
They'll do like high school artwork for the kids, and they have all sorts of different levels that people can go in, and then and then setting up a lot of the graphics, the banners, and everything like that. So I'm going to try not to say everything like that again. So if I say it, can you guys just like give me a smack? I wanted to talk about the home show real quick because I wanted some information on that.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Well, the home shows that I've been to, I was working for other large plumbing companies at the time, and I would always volunteer to go just because it's a great way to just get out, talk to people,
So is it a ticketed event? So you set up, it's inside of like a
so
auditorium type of thing,
I
right?
did several at the convention center down in Tampa, and we would set up a giant booth down there and usually exhibit some technology, whether it be a camera, the sewer camera. A lot of people were amazed that we could put a sewer camera inside the drain lines and show them what's going on.
Like roots,
Yeah,
and some
and
stuff you
sign
probably
them-
don't want to see.
Yeah, sign people up for free whole house plumbing inspections, which is a great value, and do different raffles. We've given away a couple of iPads at events and do little contests.
Ooh,
and
who
stuff.
doesn't love an iPad
No,
raffle?
I'm telling you, for event marketing, that is such a wise thing to do. A register to win seriously is amazing. And then also having like tchotchkes, having the magnet that goes on people's fridge.
Yeah, we used to give out these little rubber ducks. We did it one year. We had them just floating in front of the booth.
Oh, that's cute.
And
The
people could
kids-
come by. The kids love the
Oh my
little
God,
rubber ducks.
Wherever the kids go, the parents come.
Yeah.
So
And it
it's
was-
always a good idea.
It was cool. Like 6-8 months later, you get a call, random tubs backing up, and you walk into their bathtub, and you see the little rubber ducky with
that
with the
is-
logo sitting on the edge of the tub. You're
Like
man,
wise
that's good.
investment.
Yeah, the,
No,
the
but
paint's coming off of it, right? It's just now all yellow, but you can see that it's the same.
These
duck.
are the things that are just like I said. I am fascinated by them because there's such good ways to market, and a lot of people are like, I don't understand. I'm Drain Daddy. Why would I be at an event?
We'll be
Yeah.
right back. It's BaaD Radio.
Ooh.
We went a minute and almost 30 seconds over. My fault. I'm trying to do two things at once.
I
okay.
liked your train stop, though.
Hey, it's the only thing I got. I'm like, what am I going to do?
I was a bit confused.
I was a little confused too. I got the minute and a half, but then I just wait for the music.
Yeah, and I'm over here trying to do something for John Morgan, as it were.
I thought it might have been my subconscious letting you know I was train wrecking.
Right. It could have been worse.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
Oh, Lord. Thank you for the train.
Yeah, I hear you. Wait, what happened here? How are we only at a minute?
What do they do for marketing for that event, like for the sponsors? What do you do like before? Do you do like marketing for the sponsors? Like
Yeah, well,
before
somebody will buy a sponsorship package, and the sponsorship package will include inclusion on like the billboard. So it can be like a billboard that's Winter Park Art Festival, and then brought to you by, and then half
Their
of it is
logos
something
and
else.
stuff.
Radio. They'll have radio commercials that promote the Winter Park. So every sponsorship level has so many, we call them deliverables or assets that belong in there. So if somebody's going to spend, $50,000 on a big sponsorship, they know that they're going to be very visible on like all the marketing pieces that go along with it. So, and then of course on site. So is everything okay in there?
Yeah, that's a lot of people to be exposed to potentially.
No, not responding.
Oh, no.
Whoa. So anyway, I can always do it up top and then set it up later. I mean, it's no big deal. You guys want to? I know you got to keep moving. So
Yeah.
farts, but yeah, everything's stalled out here.
I don't really know what that means. That just means that you want
As
us
far
to
as
do
what
it
the
dry.
audio is good though.
I can't tell. I haven't recorded also as a backup. I never mess
Okay.
up. I never.
The audio is the only one I really need.
I know. It's running, but yeah, my computer seems to have been stalled out here.
So should I just start back with welcome back to BaaD Radio?
Yeah, I'm trying to get this thing to restart. But
Let's give it like I said, we'll give it a minute longer. Because I'm okay with just like launching without.
I know
the
I can
audio.
do that. It drives me nuts that this is doing that.
Oh, okay.
You better get it handled in there, Miss Melissa.
With a name like Fox, you got to.
Hey, Foxy.
Sure. Still waiting for the program to respond. All right. Yeah, I'll just. I'm gonna have to mix that in later.
I'm
your
okay.
sponsor. Okay.
Oh well, I meant. Oh, you're talking about the rejoin? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
All right.
I mean, I'm still gonna do my sponsor read right here.
Damn it. Hold on. See, this is what happens in radio when you have to rely on technology.
And you just roll with the punches. You make it work.
You do. You really do. I mean, it's really the only way that, things will work out is just if you're patient. But this one's taking a dump. So we're just going to go ahead and move on without all our elements.
Good thing the plumber's here, right?
Yeah, right. Oh, my God. I think I broke the shit.
Can you give me just a countdown though?
Sure. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio. This portion of the show is brought to you by Premier Couples Superstore. It is still hot out there, so best to plan some inside activities. But first, a trip to Premier Couples Superstore. They have the best selection of lingerie, shoes, toys, games, love oils, clubwear, and so much more. You don't have to worry about those high prices because you're going to go directly to the source. 5009 South OBT or shop online at premiercouples.net because a couple that plays together stays together. So that is sometimes
I
I think
miss the
that,
oh yeah at the end now.
well, maybe she can put it. Yeah.
There we go.
Yay! That was so wonderful. All right, that's your
You have a
job
job.
now.
Perfect. Side hustle. As if
right.
I'm not busy enough already.
Right. Well, we'll just get you to record it, and then we'll
Yeah.
hit the button
There we go.
ourselves.
Easy.
So we're here with Bradley McWithy. He is the owner of the Drain Daddy. And so first and foremost, tell everybody what is your business?
We're a plumbing company. We're
All
a
right.
full service residential and commercial plumbing company.
So you do that was going to be my next question. So residential. What percentage of your business is residential versus commercial?
I would say about 85% of my business is residential to consumer. And then I'm slowly picking up more and more commercial work. We do some tenant build outs. We've got a new ground up condo building going on Bumby and 408 right now.
Okay.
And we're taking on some more bigger jobs, but we're still a young company. So
How old are you?
I actually started the business February of last year.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. I've been plumbing for 22, 23 years almost.
Right.
What made you kind of start your own thing?
It's always been an aspiration, right? But I've kind of always held myself back. Like, I don't have enough experience. I've not done this. I need, and the security of working for a company as well, It's,
Oh, yeah.
It's a giant leap.
We
It's a
talk about that
giant leap.
all the time because Melissa's the
Yeah.
same. So many of the people that we have on BaaD Radio are in that we're in that same situation, and it's so inspirational to see the people that actually are like, you know what, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. And then once you do, you want to inspire others that think that it's like the most overwhelming thing in the world to go start your own business. Like, no, it sucks. Sometimes,
Right.
it's not always peaches and roses, but at the end of the day, it's yours.
Right.
It's,
I saw a meme today that said owning your own business is not a 9 to 5 gig,
no.
and I was like, nope,
Oh, yeah.
it's not.
Hey, I saw something that people were like, I'm going to start my own business so I can make my own hours. And then it's like your hours are like 24/7.
Yeah.
So
I want time freedom and I want more money.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have less money and less time
Yeah, yeah.
for a little while. Yeah, for a while.
Initially.
freedom. Yeah.
But I love stories like that. And then, and how pivotal has BNI been to your business?
BNI has been a great help just to be around other like-minded professionals. Really, like, of course, the referrals are a benefit, but that camaraderie, the time that I'm penciling out of my schedule every week to go be with those other business owners to get encouragement, give encouragement, come up with different ways to help each other out is the most beneficial. That's like the most valuable thing for me.
I love that answer too, because lots of times it's like, okay, I've heard people say before, BNI doesn't work for me, and I'm like, well, what are you putting into it? And that's really what it boils down to.
Right.
But BNI for you has been a huge asset to your
Yeah,
business.
definitely. I mean, I started my business the same month that I started BNI. So, I mean, you have all those startup costs, and I do photography and videography, so it's not cheap. Buying all the cameras and lenses and all that fun stuff. And I was able to make my money back within the first 1-2 months just of being in BNI.
Right.
With a brand new business. Like, I don't know that there's another
I don't
way to
think
do
so.
that. Yeah.
My membership fee, I paid. My first referral from BNI was an $8,000 job,
Oh, yeah. So,
yeah.
see?
and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Right. Yeah. Sold.
Let me help you guys. How do I help you guys make money now? Yeah.
We had our BNI meeting this morning too, and I'm secretary treasurer. So we had 2 guests, and at the end of the meeting, I take them into, because we're a hybrid, so we went into a breakout room, and I'm like, this is what it costs. However, you have to think about how quickly you'll make that back, and for me, BNI has been invaluable. So. Primarily just even for the show, because I get to meet so many business owners within BaaD Radio, and I go from chapter to chapter. Like, I'll visit other chapters all the time.
You need to come visit ours.
I know it's your Sanford?
Legacy Partners, yeah, in Sanford,
Right.
Hollerbecks.
Well, the problem is that mine's Thursday morning too.
True.
So what we should do
Maybe
sometimes?
we
Swap.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah, we do a swap, and so I go to yours and you go to mine. Like, we sub for each
Yeah.
other.
I've been meaning to get out and go visit some other chapters. It's just really easy to say, I already close off that one morning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I go to other chapters, I always leave with new contacts and people that are interested in being on the show. And like I said, so sometimes I'll kick myself in the butt because I'm like, I didn't go to another one this week, or another week went by and I didn't get to one. But
Well, I visited his chapter, and here he is, and the
Yeah.
Derek,
No,
and
yeah.
Nasir's all from that chapter. Just I've visited one time.
Yeah,
So you need to
they're
go.
both great too. Nasir is awesome. He designed my website. I'm absolutely
Yeah, I
in
saw
love
it,
with it.
yeah.
Anytime I have any technical questions, I can call Nasir, and thank goodness he can walk me through it, because I'm a plumber.
I was
this computer stuff is.
I
Not my
was so
thing.
impressed with him, and when I found out that he was only like 24 years old, I was even more impressed.
Oh yeah, he's got a great head on his shoulder. That
He
kid's going
does.
places. I
He's
just hope
got-
he brings me along with him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got business theories that I've been, I've been working in business since I'm 50 now, and since I was like 20 something, and he has theories that I was like, that is so practical and it makes so much sense that you are going places. So he, he's funny though. He's like, I got to get out of my shell and come out and do things out, and I'm like, yes, you do, because you're really good at it. But yes, so she visited chapter, and from that we have 3 clients that we've never had on the radio show before. We had Derek Brantley come on that he's in your chapter too.
Yeah, that guy is the best. I'm always hurting somewhere. I'm always sore. And even this morning, I've been having an issue with my elbow and my wrist, and I went up to Derek and said, "Hey, man,
What can you do here?
do you know what this is?" Of course, I'm prying. He just grabs a hold of my arm, and I'm like,
Thank you.
"Thank you so much."
Just make sure you're like, I'm going to sit
Please.
next to him to make
Please,
sure.
yeah, keep these arms and legs working. That guy is phenomenal with his hands.
Yeah, he did really good on this show. So I always like to ask the question of how you came up with your business name.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of a unique story.
I love it.
I was working for probably the largest plumbing company in Central Florida. I'd moved back from Los Angeles, got a job with a giant company here.
And what year was that? I'm sorry.
That was 2018. I moved back from Los Angeles to Orlando.
So
and
pre-COVID.
to kind of settle down. And I went to work for this giant company. They ended up getting bought out by an investment group out of California. And it was a conflict of interest. I didn't really like where they were planning on taking the company. And so I stepped away.
You stepped down because you had to.
Yeah, I had some money in the bank and decided, hey, I'm going to go see what South America looks like. And jumped on a one-way flight to Lima, Peru. And 28 days later, they closed down the whole world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get stuck in Peru?
So here I was. Here I was.
Oh wow.
Me and a friend of mine who I convinced within 3 days of me leaving to buy a ticket. And
this
he went
friend.
with me, and we backpacked through Peru and had an amazing time. They shut the whole world down. And I was like, here we are stuck. No telling when we're going to get home. And decided when I got back, I wasn't going to work for anybody ever again. So I ordered all my books. I signed up for school and all that stuff, thinking when I get home, I have a little bit saved up.
Right.
I'm going to live off that savings, swap out faucets and disposals for friends in the neighborhood,
Right.
and get it done that way. And sat there and came up with name after name after name after name after name. And this one just kind of stuck.
It's really cute.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that okay for me to say cute?
Yeah, it's super catchy.
Okay.
It's,
I don't know if it's a guy
it
thing.
just kind of stands out. So I was like, yeah, that personifies what I'm trying to do here. And people, I think at 2022, it's
fun.
yeah, it's fun.
Well, because it's like, the Drain Daddy is going to take care of business.
Exactly.
He's going to get everything covered. So there's a lot of things that you can put into that.
Yeah.
So, well, that music means that we're going to break, and it also means that Melissa's got some stuff working in there. So
Yes and no. I am the master of figuring
Rig it.
workarounds.
Yes.
Never doubted her.
We'll be back with more BaaD Radio. So stay tuned.
Hey! No, my computer's just restarting and still acting like crap.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
No, I know it's not, but I'm still sorry that it's happening to you.
You deserve better than that.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
I'm just glad that it's recording. So
Well, I mean, yeah, definitely. I wouldn't mess with that. That would be a bad idea. What are you searching for? Huh? Yeah, there's a couple.
Okay.
You just hold it down.
And then when I release, I'm live again. Okay. Good. Thank you. Sorry.
it happens Like you'll be not talking, and as soon as you talk, you get that tickle in your throat.
Uh-huh.
And oh gosh. Okay, we're gonna have to do that intro again, like we talked about. Okay, 3, 2,
Hold on, she's not ready yet.
too bad.
Smack talking when I don't have my headphones on.
That's what I do. That's what I do. All right, stand by. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, and this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Frogger's Bar and Grill. Looking for a place to go with friends or meet new ones? Then you're looking for Frogger's Grill and Bar. With 4 great locations, there is bound to be one near you. Come with friends or bring the family for some food and fun. And don't miss out on Frogger's amazing menu where everything is fresh, never frozen. Oviedo, Mount Dora, Apopka, and Altamont Springs. Frogger's. Hop in with food and fun. And we are here with the Drain Daddy himself, Bradley McWithy. I said it right?
Yes,
McWithy.
ma'am. Yeah.
McWithy. Because
Impressive.
I was telling him that I used to have a neighbor with the last name Withy. So I was like, I haven't
Okay.
seen or heard that, but it had the MAC. So I wasn't sure if it was McWithy or MacWithy. But he said it's MacWithy.
Everyone gets it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a thing my whole life.
That's all right. My last name is Smaritto. So people, I'm just like, I always just say it rhymes with Dorito or burrito.
You know what? You can have an easy name. My last name's Jacob, and I get Jacobs all the time. So it doesn't matter. People just they want to mess up your last name.
I just think it's cool. You
Subconscious.
were a Cullen. You're
Yeah.
all growing up.
Yeah, it's a Cullen.
He's like, I don't know what that means. It's Twilight talk.
But when I was a Cullen, then people would say my last name was Colon, and I'm like, that's an organ.
That's,
That's not me.
Sometimes. Maybe,
Oh, well, my maiden name was Kuda, Angie Kuda. I grew up in, oh my God, people had a blast with
Oh,
it.
that sounds like a fun one.
Yeah, cooter, cooties,
fun.
and barracuda. I'm like, oh, I haven't heard that one before. I didn't care. The Cuda girls from Melbourne, that's where we were. We were famous.
Yeah, luckily my name's not. It's not really an easy way to make it sound bad. you know?
Yeah.
It's just it's horrible from the start. Yeah.
Some of the stuff because Tom, my husband's name is Tom, and like we'll sit at the dinner table and we'll share stories and talk with the kids, and the kids are like, you guys grew up in the best time ever in the 80s.
Tell me about it.
They're just like, you can't do that stuff anymore.
Oh, those were the good days.
Uh-huh.
You know, you just ride your bike around the neighborhood to find out whose house everyone else's bike was in front of. There was no cell phones. You're just, where are they at? Oh, looks like Tommy's house. All the bikes are out front. We're going to Tommy's.
We would be like, whose house is getting rolled? It's Friday night, and then we would figure it out, and it was just a thing. But yeah, so that was always a good time. Okay, so we were talking about, well, I do want to talk a little bit more about the conventions that you were talking about. But before we do that, okay, so you're telling us this story. You were stuck where again?
I was stuck in Peru.
Okay, how far away is Peru? I have to do
A 4.5 hour flight. It's in South America.
Yeah.
How
How long were you supposed to be there?
Well, I was gonna be there 3 months and
Okay.
do like 8 or 9 countries, maybe, just
Gotcha.
to see how just to go see South America.
Right,
And
how long did you get stuck there?
so I was there 28 days enjoying life, and the night before we were supposed to cross over into Bolivia, they shut down the country. The president, we all got an email saying that the president was closing down the country. Then our bus company messaged us and said, hey, we're not taking you to Bolivia. And then we got back to our hotel, and the hotelier said, we're closing our doors at 7 a.m. tomorrow. They're shutting the country down. So,
But okay, so where did you go?
well, we had to, we smuggled ourselves. We tried to get to Lima, to the U.S. Embassy. But the ambassador to Peru left as soon as they closed the country. He announced that they were shutting the country down, and then the ambassador,
Then he was like, "Peace
he
out."
flew to America.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
nice.
so we were trying to get to the U.S. Embassy, but they stopped our bus in central Peru, in Arequipa, and said, hey, let me see your ticket. Ripped it in half, gave us the difference, because we bought a ticket from where we were at in Puno to
Right.
Lima, thinking, okay, perfect, we got our ticket, we're on this bus, we're going to get there, we'll walk to the embassy, they'll fly us home, we'll be fine. No, center of Peru, they kicked us off the bus, gave us our change, and said, you're here for at least the next 2 weeks.
But I mean, if they have the hotels closed, where are you going to sleep?
That was the hard part. We had to find a hostel that was still accepting people.
Oh my
And
goodness.
luckily we found one, thinking, okay, we're going to be here 2 weeks. They're going to reopen everything. And then
like-
we're going to go fly. We'll take a flight to Bolivia and then keep going from there. And they just kept extending it and extending it. I ended up spending a total of 100 days in Peru,
Wow.
28 traveling
little bit
freely,
extra.
and then 72
I
chilling.
hope you
in a-
didn't have any pets at home.
No pets, no kids.
How about this friend that you convinced 3 days
Was
prior?
he so mad at you?
At first, we both were like, "Oh, this is gonna be 2 weeks of the worst 2 weeks of our life." But we were stuck in a hostel with 70 other people from all over the world. Some of who now are my best friends.
Oh,
we
okay.
we keep in contact with each other. We became a giant family, right? We had a group of Italians and Germans. Me and my other buddy were the only Americans,
Right.
and so we would all like chip in. We had an open air market that was close by. It was like the good side of a bad situation.
Wow, that's
right?
really interesting
And
experience.
Yeah, it became a really incredible growth experience for me, like just being able to like not worry about anything
Right,
except for
yeah.
the people that were around me. And it really solidified what I wanted to do with life. That's why I decided to go ahead and say,
I was wondering
you
at
know
what point during that, I guess you have a lot of time to do a lot of thinking too, right?
Yeah, weren't allowed out in the streets most of the days.
So you're like, okay, what am I going to do with, let me contemplate life right now.
Seriously. Yeah, that's exactly how it happened.
And you're just like, I'm not going to work for anybody else.
Never. Yeah.
And so you got back to the States.
Eventually,
and
yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, and the books were all waiting at my house. The curriculum was there as well, and all I had to do was contact the school that I was going to for my crash course, and they said as soon as classes open back up, you were first in line.
Right.
So
So tell us about that. I mean, you had already had experience in the industry, so you knew what you were doing, but you had to get like a certificate, like, with
Yeah.
an electrician is like a master electrician.
Exactly, same thing with plumbing. So I had to
Okay.
get my plumbing master's license and certified by the state and all of that. So I had to pass 2 8-hour tests. One is on trade, and the other one is on finance, business and finance. So
To start a plumbing company, you have to have
Oh,
a
yeah.
course in finance?
an 8-hour test with a 60% fail rate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hello. Never heard of anything like that before.
Hugely overwhelming. The trade side as well. Luckily, in the state of Florida, the test is an open book test. You have 13 books that you carry into your
But is
testing site with
is it
you.
a Google test?
No phones. No, if you get caught with a phone, you're completely disqualified. Like they take it very, very seriously.
That's interesting. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's interesting that they combined the finance part of it. Like I would have assumed it would be all like the technical, like the trade part of it.
Yeah. So there's two sides, right? There's one test that you have to pass, which is trade specific, and then the other half of the test is business and finance. So if you're going to start a plumbing company or any company, you should understand some of the tax laws, some of the finance questions. You should understand how to set up a business and those sorts of things.
Oh, people
So,
set up businesses all the time not knowing
100%.
like what
Yeah.
to do. So
well, as a master for that specific license, like if you just go get a handyman's license, you don't have to take that test.
there's a handyman's license, so you can't just become like a handyman because you are like nifty with
I
tools.
suppose you could. You're just not licensed.
Yeah,
To get
true.
a business license, right? You don't certain business licenses they don't require that, but plumbing is very important for sanitation, and
Oh yeah.
you don't want to flood somebody's house or.
No, especially around Thanksgiving when you have all the folks over and
Yeah.
the whole family. Ain't nothing worse than a backed up toilet
Oh,
that time,
yeah.
right?
That's the busiest. That's actually the busiest day of the year for plumbers is Thanksgiving Day.
Is it really?
It is. There's many a year
Oh,
where
that's so
I would
unfortunate.
drive home at 9:30, 10 o'clock on Thanksgiving, be an on-call technician, and your whole passenger seat is full of food because grandma and auntie and nobody will let you leave. They're giving you sliced
Oh, that's
turkey and
cute,
all the
though.
fixins,
You think so? You
stuffing.
just need to make sure you pack a cooler so you can
legit.
have something to put all the stuff
you,
food
you
in.
can literally eat
Oh,
for a
that's so
week off
cute.
of just all of the to-go boxes that people leave you.
Oh, you know it though. If like it's Thanksgiving and you got a house full of people and the commode's backed up and he comes over,
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, I'm tipping you.
Yes.
Here's food.
Yes.
Here's the rights to my firstborn child. Whatever it is
Yeah.
that I can come across.
I've got 46 people in the house. The biggest one actually is on Thanksgiving morning when people wake up. They're defrosting the turkey in the sink.
Okay.
Undermount sinks. What happens is the turkey's 20 pounds. Then you fill it up with water. The silicone around the rim of the sink gives way in the middle of the night. The turkey, the water, the sink, everything falls into the cabinet and floods the house.
This is an oftentimes
This
happening
happens
problem.
guaranteed.
Wow.
Guaranteed. Every
Hey, good to
year,
know.
somebody
How do
wakes
you
up
not
to
do
that.
You put it in a bucket.
The problem is some of these granite companies will use silicone to mount the undermount sink,
Right.
not epoxy.
Okay.
And so the silicone gets moisture in between that and the granite and the sink,
Okay.
and then it loosens up, and you put a 20-pound turkey, 20
Right.
pounds of water, 10-pound garbage disposal hanging there,
Nice.
and you go to bed. And it just pulls the sink right off the bottom of the
So
granite.
what would they do instead?
Epoxy.
No.
No.
Let's say the sink is already
Installed.
as it is. It's silicone. What would you do?
Tom uses a
Get
bucket.
Get a granite guy out there and have them
He says, "Get a new
epoxy.
freaking
Yeah,
sink."
epoxy the sink.
You're not
to the-
going for my bucket theory.
No, don't do it. 2x4 maybe. Hold the sink up.
No, I'm saying you put the turkey in a bucket to let it thaw.
That could be good too.
He's like, all
Or
right.
a cooler. Okay, we got to wrap it up. All right, we're going to talk more about turkeys, so stay tuned.
Jeez, I'm sort of confused. I thought that the toilets would be backed up after Thanksgiving dinner, but
Oh, that happens after, definitely.
it is what it is. It's BaaD Radio on News Radio WFLA, Orlando.
Yeah, it's super common.
You know what I thought you were going to say is that you have the turkey in the sink and it backs up and then all the water, the doo-doo water, like flushes
doo-doo water.
into.
No, it just falls into the sink cabinet, and usually it'll snap a water line on its way down. And if not, it kicks the cabinet doors open, and the turkey rolls out onto the floor.
All right, I'm set. Everything's
All
back
right.
where it belongs for
Sweet.
our third segment. No, I have lots
Third, fourth, right?
Third.
Nah, it's fourth,
This
girl.
is fourth.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
Because I've
Because
done.
I reset my cameras.
I've done.
Third.
I've done.
I think it's third.
Don't you?
Premiere Froggers, and now I'm doing
Yep.
Ground Up.
All right, then it's 4. Okay. Sorry. At least I got my computer back up though. All right, final segment. We give a minute of music as we wrap. Okay. Thanks. Good stuff. Yay. Stand by.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back. In this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Ground Up Property Services. Rainy season is here, so don't make the mistake of overwatering your lawn. Call Rick Hall with Ground Up Property Services about a water sensor. Too much water can be just as damaging as not enough water. And while you're at it, ask about an irrigation system inspection, and don't forget about the lawn painting service. If you're planning an outdoor event and you want to hide those brown spots on the lawn, call 407-468-4295. And you can also reach Ground Up Services at groundupinc.net. All right, we're here with the Drain Daddy. I just like calling you the Drain Daddy because that's what, but his actual real name is Bradley. So and we are having a fun conversation about Thanksgiving and some of the things to be aware of. So you just give us a tidbit of information that we would have never known ever. So I guess, like you said, to know that that's not going to happen to you is find another place to soak your turkey.
Yeah, or just make sure that a lot of people are getting undermount sinks now, granite countertops. Just make sure that the contractor is using epoxy to mount the sink to the granite.
I think the Drain Daddy is sponsored by epoxy. 'Cause
It's epoxy.
He's like, no buckets.
JB Wells, call today. Use promo code the Daddy.
Oh God, you could totally voice commercials. That's so funny. So Thanksgiving and then other holidays too, like Christmas, or I mean, do you have like a service? I mean, like, do you charge people extra for coming on holidays, or do you just know that's going to happen?
I mean, it depends. Like, so if it's an emergency, our service fee is the same. We're not going to, just because it's a holiday emergency, it doesn't mean we're going to try to price gouge, right?
Yeah, that's super kind of you.
Yeah, and a lot of times we have to be considerate too, because like you said, people are going to have 30, 40 people in town. You know, the family's all together. It's a holiday. You have to answer the phone. You have to get out there and just treat them like you would anybody else, right? And then clean up and get out of the way so they can open presents or
Is that
carve
just
the
the
bird.
problem? Is that a lot of houses are not used to 40 people flushing the toilet?
Yeah.
And then if they have people staying over, that's all that extra showers and everything like that. I know that my parents' house in Melbourne would never have been able to handle that sort of thing because it was kind of off the grid. You know, it had like a well, well water
and a septic.
A septic.
Septics tend to get overwhelmed when you have a large amount of people in the house flushing toilets, running water. Just can't keep up with it.
Is there anything that they can do to prepare for having people of that magnitude at their house?
Just don't have people at your house.
Yeah, I know, right?
Go to their house.
Great idea.
I'm totally down with that. But I mean, can they have like the septic cleaned or
I mean,
like
you can, but the septic systems are designed for the number of bathrooms in a house. So if you have 25 people going in and out of a one bathroom, it's still, the system is not designed to,
I'm gonna ask a dumb
deal with that
question.
kind of water.
What's a septic compared to like city?
So
I mean,
the city sewer, you have a 3 or 4 inch pipe that leaves your house and goes to a much larger pipe underneath the street that the city takes care of. Well, that wastewater flows into
We have one
either
by
a
our
lift
house,
station
a
or something
plant,
like that.
and I call it the poo-poo plant because every once in a while you're like, what is that smell? You're like, oh, there used to be one over by this baseball field, Candyland, in Longwood. So Aiden would be playing baseball, and all of a sudden you're just like, ugh. I guess it does that lifting thing.
Oh yeah, when it kicks on, you're gonna smell it, depending on which way the wind's blowing, right?
Right.
But a septic tank is different. A septic tank is basically a wastewater treatment plant on your property. So there's a giant concrete or fiberglass tank that's buried in the ground, and all your poo flows into that. And then the natural bacteria is supposed to eat that all up and turn it into water, at which point it flows through some drain pipes on the other side of it out into the yard.
I was going to say, just not back into the
leaches
house.
down.
Don't
No,
say
it leaches down into the ground. So sometimes you'll see yards that have like a really, really green rectangle in their yard, but everything else looks kind of brown. That's their drain field.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's so funny. So what makes somebody get a septic tank? I mean, do people have a choice when they're building a house if they want one, or is it zone thing?
It depends, right? So it used to be the majority of it was septic, right? Back in the day, that's all we had is septic tanks.
Well, I know for my parents, they didn't have a choice. They were
Yeah.
building in West Melbourne, and there was an option to like pipe into.
Well,
city
that was the original way to deal with wastewater. They didn't have necessarily underground infrastructure and city municipal sewer systems to deal with that kind of stuff. So to keep it from creating dysentery, black plague, like all sorts of bacterial problems with dirty water, they would have a septic tanks. Usually, like the state of Florida right now is still about 50% septic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, even though the cities are doing a lot better at converting people, they have different ways where they'll run city sewer into a neighborhood that's currently septic, and then they can convert that septic system to a city sewer. Right?
Gotcha.
They want to get that utility money.
Of course.
Oh,
know?
gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Let us take care of the poop for you. Don't
Does
worry
the
about
Drain
it.
Daddy like service both
Yeah.
septic and city?
Yeah, so I actually specialize in repairing septic systems. So drain fields are super common. They have issues where you can get roots inside of them, or there'll be a fault in that system, which a lot of septic companies, they won't go through the step-by-step process of figuring out what exactly is wrong with the septic system because they pump them and then they sell you a new one. Really that's how the business model works. You pay to pump the septic tank out. They realize, the water's backing up. That means that there's a problem with the drain field. You need a new drain field. Let's sell you a new drain field. We go out there and I'll dig up a drain field and repair it.
Well, the drain field's just the piping system.
Yeah, that the water leaches through down into the ground.
I know that piping and roots are not friends.
No, it's one of the biggest enemies of sewer lines are
Well, why don't they
roots.
make the pipes so that the trees can't grow through them?
Believe it or not, we do work with cast iron, and cast iron is much thicker and much more durable than PVC, and they still get in.
Really?
Roots are smart. So when we have dry times, the roots are going to search for water, right? And as soon as one little root finds an entryway into that sewer, they're going to whistle back and tell all their friends, hey, we got dirty water over here. We need that water. And then they'll just grow in. I've seen roots that'll grow underneath a house, around the pipe for the toilet, over and into that pipe from the bottom, just looking for water.
Yeah, I live in
they're so
Winter
cool.
Springs, and we've had so many problems with roots.
Tuscaloosa.
That's where I live.
Oh, yeah. Tuscaloosa, I deal with them all the time.
Yeah. We just had to install French drains because we flooded during Ian, and watching them have to, because they had to cut out like the chunks of ground to put the piping in there, and the roots are just
Huge.
crazy.
Massive roots. I had a leak at a apartment complex that we did not too long ago down near SeaWorld, and it took us 3 days just to get the roots out of the way so we could repair the leak. The leak was about 3.5 feet deep, but it was in like the small pine tree patch. And the roots, it had been leaking long enough to where all of the roots from all the local trees were surrounding it. It was a nightmare.
Well, with us, I mean, we're like right off of Tuscaloosa and right where Trotwood is, and there's the oaks are come in patches, and then the underneath they're all just one infrastructure of root systems.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, we've had storms come through and it uplifted, not ours, thank God, but they uplifted like the roots and everything, and it's a mound taller than a person.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Like the whole rooting system come up.
A rule of thumb is if you cut a tree off at the ground level in any direction that tree falls, that's where the roots will extend to. So if it's a 40-foot tree, you lay it down in any direction, the roots will extend about 40 feet out.
Oh, that's good to know.
And it's a rule of thumb. I've had people be like, well, I don't have roots. I don't have trees in my yard. You're like, you see that giant tree in the neighbor's yard?
Yeah.
It's probably his roots, bud.
This is a sore subject for me because my backyard neighbor has a tree that is disrupting all of my pavers, and I'm so scared it's going to start mess because I have a pool. And how you're talking about it, they're trying to find water and stuff. I'm like, this is about to turn into very expensive.
It can too. Like if it can grow in there and just mess with the foundation up and cause cracks.
I need to do something about
I don't know how
this.
that works. You know, I don't know who would be liable for something like that.
Exactly.
I don't
'Cause
either.
it's not on my property. I don't know. Sorry, side note.
Oh, the roots are on your property.
Actually,
Yeah,
they
that-
are
that's what I'm saying.
roots, and if it hangs over your property, you have permission to
I
trim
can
it.
cut
but
right
you
there.
Should ask your neighbor so there's no issue.
Right. I can cut. That's what I can cut from my line, but then like
I think you'll have
gonna
to
come back. And
I think you'll have to pay to dig those roots
Oh
out.
gosh, yeah,
Ugh,
it's
I
a
know.
big one.
I think we're gonna go to break. Don't forget about. I know she gave me a minute and a half ago. So how are we? All right, good. Well, this is, like I said, a very interesting conversation, and I'm not being sarcastic.
No.
I think it's awesome. So when we get back, we're gonna have more BaaD radio going on. But first, like I said, go ahead and give everybody your contact information.
All right, so you can find me on the web at www.thedraindaddy.com. You can call us. I answer the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 689-227-9713. Or you can swing by our office. I have a part-time admin now. I'm never in the office. It's 971 North Goldenrod Road, Unit 136 in Orlando, 32807.
Awesome.
nice. And you can find me at Melissa at strikingbrand.com.
Beautiful, and we'll be right back after the top of the hour news. This is BaaD Radio.
Sorry, you looked at me and I was like, oh, here's where I go. And then I was like, wait, I don't know if I have time. Let's make it quick.
Yeah, that's good. I am not freezing to death.
Yeah, you were concerned about that when we first got in here.
It's normally bad.
All right, well, at least the computers decided to join us for the last segment. That makes me so mad. You have no idea how angry that makes me.
I just need 2 minutes, and we're good on time.
2 minutes. All right.
Because my glasses, I don't really. They're reading glasses, but they like the.
Oh,
Get-
vanity.
disturb your
Oh,
ear.
vanity, thy name. Don't worry about the glasses, sunshine. We're all getting older. Nobody can see. We're all getting older and no one can see. It happens.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's so funny because Tommy just texted that to me too. He's like, I love the glasses. I got them at Ann Taylor at Loft. Yeah, but I mean, you can get them like super low, like.
Oh, I'm super blind. Like I can see this.
Super
Yeah.
blind.
So I was like, can I get them?
Yeah. Yeah, I bought them just for the show, for like this portion, but I've been wearing them nonstop. Everyone like I. That's the first time that I've actually gotten a cold latte, and I actually really like it a lot. I'm from Kava Culture.
Oh, okay.
Normally I get like a hot latte, but it's
Yeah,
so
I can't
hot
drink
out.
hot. I can't drink hot coffee. I mean, as a Floridian, I just don't. I mean, if it's cold, yeah, cold hot coffee with cold weather. But with it being so hot,
I know.
I have a mind thing. I think that cold coffee doesn't wake me up as much as
oh man, go get a salted caramel frappuccino. See that thing?
All right. Thank you guys for that.
All right, whenever Melissa's done.
Yeah, it's just getting them all started.
Okay. Interesting. Yay.
The gang's all here.
Yay, I've had it in to do. Yeah.
I like it. I need to hang out with you guys more often.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't
I
it?
know.
Woohoo! No snacks today, though. What the hell?
No, yeah, food or drinks in the studio.
Okay, I'll work on that. Stand by. You ready?
Yes.
All right.
You're listening to Radio Cosmos.
All night long.
Vamos, little lady.
Come on, Joe.
Break for 30 seconds.
You are now listening to BaaD Radio.
Well, welcome back as we launch into the second hour of BaaD Radio. I'm going to run through all the regular info for those of you who may just joined us. I'm Angela Smaritto, your host, and we've got Melissa Fox, our producer.
Hi.
Yeah, you threw me off with that
I
sound
know.
bite. I was like, what is the ticking? What
It
am
was
I hearing?
clapping. It was very, very subtle.
Clapping.
Okay.
It doesn't take much to throw us off, though. I was doing the same thing. I was like looking around, like, what's happening?
What's that sound?
Wait, what's
It's clap.
happening?
It was my interns, all three of them.
Got it. Fired.
Trying to sound motivated.
All right. Well, mystery solved. You know what it was. Next up, we have Melissa Jacob, our co-host and videographer.
Why, hello for the second half. You know what? They're definitely fired now.
I know, for real. But Melissa is our co-host and our videographer. And if you go to baadradio.com, you'll get to see all the previous episodes of the shows and our guests from the shows. And if you go to strikingbrand.com, you can see all of her other work, because she is a photographer as well as a videographer. So for the first hour of the show, we've been talking with Bradley McWithy, and now we're going to continue talking with him because he is the Drain Daddy, and we are having a very fun conversation. We talked about turkeys, we've talked about roots. So Peru, yes.
We've been all over the place. Huh? Yeah.
But this is talk radio. This is what it's all about. I am curious, though. Okay, so we talked a little bit about the educational piece, which I think is really crazy because I would have never really have thought about it. Like I said, I've had electricians on before, and I understand that part, and I didn't realize that plumbing was very much the same. So do you get like a master plumbing certificate, and then you take on interns, and you can train people? Like, you know how like a master electrician has a certification, and then he brings other electricians on under him. Is that the same?
Yeah, it's the exact same.
Okay.
It's the exact same. So I can train people underneath me. They have to get a certain number of hours before they can qualify to go to do any sort of testing, whether it be they want their journeyman license or if they want to get a master plumber's license.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say to people that are like, oh, you know, I don't want to be a plumber? It's
We need plumbers.
We need plumbers.
We need plumbers. The average age of a plumber in the United States is over 50 years old. So
they're aging out.
They're aging out. We have more business than we can ever get to be honest with you. And there's none of these young kids are trying to get into the trade. That's what we need more than anything. HVAC, electricians, plumbers need guys that want to get into the trade, and it's very lucrative.
That's what I'm saying.
It pays well. You're going to get your hands dirty, but you'll sleep well at night with that paycheck in your pocket. You know?
Right. And then, like you said before, is that if you need to take some time off to go do something, like you said, if you are like have your own business, you can get to a certain point where you can do that.
I beg to differ a little bit. I've canceled a lot of trips because of my career.
You're still new, though. That's still young.
But as you grow, is that your plan, is to continue to grow the Drain Daddy?
Yeah. So when I look at an exit strategy, I don't see one. I see another market. The goal is to franchise the Drain Daddy
well, that's
nationwide,
a very cool
right?
goal.
But it's just there's always something to do. There's always something to do. So looking at time off is kind of it's way out in the future right now.
Well, I mean, you're talking about launching it, and then, like you said, there's also a lack of people that are getting in that field. So it sounds to me like you're doing a lot of the physical labor yourself, as opposed to just running the business and doing the labor.
Yeah, I'm a owner operator for sure, 100%. You know, I'm wearing almost all of the hats. Luckily, I have Carrie in the office taking care of a lot of the admin stuff for me now, and I have bringing on a team like Nasir, and I'm trying to build a team. But it's tough. It's difficult. Like I said, we need more kids that want to get into these trades. Even guys my age that want to get into a trade. They're tired of sitting in an office, or they want to do something new. And I've been in this trade 22 years, since I was 17 years old, and I learn stuff all the time. You're never going to get to a point where you're going to get bored.
Right. And I mean, I think, like I said, it's just when they talk about a sexy job, and I think that a lot of people don't realize to them a sexy job is, doing gaming and building games and this and that. They don't really understand
or
that.
A corporate gig, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to wear a suit, and they think that that's going to come with a higher paying job.
No, not anymore.
You want, I'm really big. I like to feel like I had a really good day at work, right? Like I accomplished something and helped somebody. There's a lot of different facets to being in a service related industry, especially plumbing. If there's no hot water at the house, or if the toilet doesn't flush, or if there's water on the floor, they're going to call somebody. Somebody's going to come out there and service that client and help them out.
You will always have work.
Always, 100%.
You can get a big fat engineering degree and work for Lockheed Martin. If Lockheed Martin loses that contract or it expires and they don't get a new one, guess what? You're out of a job.
Yeah.
And then you're looking for, and then you've also got, 20,000 people just as qualified as you looking for that same job.
Exactly.
But as a plumber or an electrician or anybody that's in the trades, you will always have a job opportunity.
Yeah, that's why
and
I
it doesn't
don't-
matter where you move to as well.
No, it's recession proof. It's worldwide. Everyone has plumbing. Trust me, I've seen it. And that's why I don't focus a lot of my energy on new construction, because anybody that's in the construction industry remembers what 2008 looked like and how many plumbing companies and new construction companies that were completely dependent on new buildings went belly up. You know?
Okay, 2008 was a big recession.
Yeah,
and
you have 100 employees, right? And you're doing $5 to $10 million in business a year, and then the builders stop building. You've got 100 guys with families, kids, wives at home, bills that they have to pay. And as the owner, I would never want that pressure.
That
You
I
know?
wouldn't.
The
either.
houses that are here are going to get older, and the people are always going to need a plumber. You know?
What do you think that we could do to make it sexier for kids to want to do it? I think that a lot of it has to do with education.
I mean, with the education, but it's the stability when that comes along with it. Yeah, but everything is so instant gratification now. Is it really that appealing? Right? Of course, there's a lot of other things that seem to be more appealing. Everyone thinks that plumbers just deal with poo all day long.
Heck no.
No, a lot of the times I'm inside in an air-conditioned house, changing faucets, changing fixtures. We do dig jobs outside too, where you get to sweat. But I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love getting all dirty and sweaty and going home and be like, oh man, that was a hard day.
Yeah,
but
right.
we got it done.
But it's like you said, it's gratifying.
Yeah. I think a lot of times now people are wanting to do like how you said, the gaming and then being YouTubers and all of that fun stuff. That I'm just like, I'm hoping that it comes around where they kind of get tired of that and like want to get back to doing like getting their hands dirty type.
I hope so too.
I really
Please
am.
send them, anybody that has a kid that graduated high school and is looking for
Putting out a
something
call.
and he won't sit still, send him my way, please.
Needs to burn energy.
Please.
I
yeah,
have a
yeah,
16-year-old son, and he's 6 foot tall. Well, he's almost 90, but again,
ADHD kids work great. I'm an ADHD kid. I love it.
I always tell both of our kids, Anna and Aiden, that I want them to have a trait.
Yeah.
I want them to have something that they can hang their hat on, and that if they need to move somewhere, they can do it. If they can, because they'll always have security with the trait.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter what it is. If Anna wants to be if she wants to be work at a hair salon or anything like that, there's always going to be the need for that. And so, is that the 1 minute mark?
A minute and a half.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to keep it
cousin.
covert.
I have a cousin actually. She's a certified air conditioning technician, and I'm trying to convince her to go back to school to get her master's license, just so she can get an air conditioning license and start her own business. She's about 5 feet tall, and weighs about 100 pounds. And she outworks everybody in her company.
Because she can fit inside those little tight
they're
little
all
spaces.
intimidated by her. And I'm like, you need to start doing speaking engagements and get other girls involved
Because we got little
in these
hands
trades.
too. We can fit inside
Well,
things.
she's just a little ninja. She'll crawl around attics. She'll climb inside of an air conditioning unit. These other guys are like, oh, that's too tough. She's like, give me the tool. Watch this. Sit back and watch this.
I like this lady. I want to talk to her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
But I think it's an interesting topic. So let's talk about that a little bit more too. So I can't tell where we're at on break. I mean, like I said, we got it coming up, and I don't know sign language.
That means 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
1 minute, that's half a minute.
Oh,
See, I don't know this stuff. My daughter
How about
takes
if I
ASL.
just roll my finger around like this?
Wrap it up?
Yeah.
That one I get.
Quit talking.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up this segment. When we get back, we're going to talk more with the Drain Daddy. So stay tuned.
You're listening to BaaD Radio. You want a network? You want to get in on this? Go to BaaDradio.com. We'll be right back.
So do you tell her the time? Because I'm like right in the middle of a talking.
Yes.
Okay. I was trying to figure out if you see me jump sometimes, it's because she gets on my microphone and she'll be like 1 minute, and I'll be, and I do that because sometimes I have it turned up a little bit too high. Why? Who?
It's all good. It's what I do.
There you go.
I do. I yell.
Keep her on
Sometimes
her toes.
I turn it really loud, and I'm like, 2 minutes.
I know.
She jumps.
I don't like
I
it,
can
though.
hear that
Keep
from.
her on her toes.
I know, through her headphone, right?
I can hear her with my headphones off.
That's cool. All right, let's make segment 6 happen here, which is segment 2 of this hour. All right, everybody stand by. Hey, what'd you do, Mel? Oh, well. Here we go.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back to the show, and this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Forge IT Consulting, providing a fully outsourced IT department with the personal touch for small business. No company is too small. ForgeITConsulting.com. We actually had John with Forge IT Consulting on like 2 weeks ago, I think it was, and it was a great show about how to protect yourself from scammers. And that's one of the shows, like I said, I had several people reach out that wanted to get that show again so that they could take notes, because he gave us a lot of really good information on things that we can do that don't cost money to help protect us. Because I got scammed, and they got, yeah, I mean, it was bad though. It was through, like, they got into my bank account through my email, then I had the actual scammer call me and tell me that he was Chase fraud, and they were using Zelle to Zelle money. It was, like I said, it is a whole thing. So
No good.
I've recently had John do that thing where he got on here and he set up a lot of like things on here to help protect me. And yeah, so if that's something, like I said, as being a business owner, to make sure that you're protected, I absolutely recommend Forge IT Consulting. He's in BNI too.
Hey, aren't we all?
Oh,
It seems like the place to be, right?
I had a gentleman that was on the show before, Daniel Rabowski, and I don't know why I thought he knew what BNI was, and he just sort of rolled with it. And so finally he's like, I got to ask, what is BMI? And I was like, it's BNI, and I thought you knew. So we explained to him, but he actually was my guest today. He came and joined.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So he was like, this is what she's been talking about nonstop. But so we're talking with the Drain Daddy, and I think you did hit a topic that I found very interesting, and that's women in this very male-dominated industry. So you think a woman would kick butt in it, huh? Or you know somebody that does?
Yeah, my cousin is a great example of a female. She's a AC technician, and she does all of the things, builds duct work and climbs around in attics and moves units by herself, and she's an inspiration.
Yeah.
But it's also a testament. Like we need people in the trades, but women too. I mean, we have very, very few women in the plumbing trade. I think it's like 0.3% of the plumbers in the United States are women.
I know a couple women that were in roofing, and they killed it.
Wow.
Tough.
Killed it.
That is rough.
Tough.
I know.
I've seen a group of women on TikTok that do roofs.
Yeah. Well, no, they don't build the roof, but they're the salesperson.
Oh no,
you know?
these
Yeah.
chicks. There's a group of them.
Yeah, no, they're not a
Girl,
roof.
I thought you were talking about roofing.
I'm
No, there's
talking
a group
about
in
the
the
people that
Midwest
go
that do
around door to door and sell them.
He knows somebody. You know
Yeah.
somebody that I'm
There's a group of girls in the Midwest that I believe they're in the Midwest that's what they do. They put the roofs on the house.
That's awesome.
Well, I walk around with nail guns, and it's an all-girl
Yeah.
crew.
Wow.
It's pretty
Yeah.
neat.
I agree with that too. So we were talking about what would make the industry more appealing. And so let's talk about the money. Now, I never ask people how much money they make, but what is the potential to make? So say my son graduates, he goes to college for a couple of years. He decides, that's not for me. I want to be, and he's like, I want job security. And I'm like, Aiden, let's talk about being a plumber. What would he need to do, and where would he start?
So it's all about a retention of information, right? So you're more valuable the more that you know. So, and I tell guys all the time, just pay attention to what I'm telling you, because once you do it 3 or 4 times and you know it, nobody can ever take it from you.
So is there like an apprenticeship program?
There is. It depends, right? So if you go work for a commercial company, you start at the very bottom, and they hold you there, and then you have to slowly work through the politics of, hey, I've worked alongside Joe, who's been here forever for the past 2.5 years, and he says that I'm pretty good, so I deserve a raise. And then you can go through like the journeyman and apprenticeship program, and it may take you 7 years to get to $25 an hour, right? It's a slower process, right? There's more bodies involved, right? And there's more moving parts. Residential service, once you know how to replace a toilet, the goal is to try to figure out what's the most efficient way to do that and to lower your time spent replacing a toilet. You know, the first time, if anybody goes to the store right now and buys a toilet and goes home and tries to put it in, they've never done it, it's going to take them half the day.
Yeah, definitely.
If not longer, you know?
Right. Tom, you listening to that, baby?
You know,
half a day.
You put in 500 toilets, you can do them in about 20 minutes, start to finish. That's pull the old toilet, clean the area, new bolts, new wax ring, set the new toilet, caulk it in place, test it 5 times, and then you're out of there. 30 minutes start to finish, right? So that's where you start to build value. You know, you don't miss anything. You clean up after yourself. You know exactly what you're looking at. You're able to articulate that to the homeowner in a pretty quick manner.
Right.
You're going to give them options, financial responsibilities that they can pick options and choose
You mean
from.
as far as like the type of toilet they want?
Yeah. What do you want? You want the same kind of toilet? You want a fancier toilet? You want a taller toilet? You want a bigger toilet? You want a soft close seat? What do you want? So, and then once the client determines what they want, all we have to do is get that job done.
Right.
So that, as a service guy, you are a company. You're just, somebody's providing you with a truck and they're telling you what client you're going to go see that day, right?
You don't, like, you're just following directions.
You kind of dictate how it's going to go as well. You know, you can't carry your attitude to work and expect that you're going to portray a positive vibe to your clients. So once you get in that truck and you leave the office, you kind of dictate exactly what you need to do that day.
Gotcha.
You know?
But I mean, I think like starting off, some people might like that security of like having the bigger name company, like you said, protecting you until you kind of get
under their wing as you get to going. Yeah.
And I would encourage anybody that's in a trade to not shy away from exploring your options. That's one of the biggest things that you see is some people will start out with a company that may not even be operating correctly, not doing the right process, not having any sort of training in place. And then they stay there for 5-7 years and then they finally burn out and they realize, well, now I got to go look for another job. Everyone's so fearful of looking for another job. The best thing that I ever did was move companies sometimes. And even though I worked for some of the largest in the U.S., I learned something completely different and new processes and new ways of doing things from each one of them, which has served me well opening my own business.
Yeah, definitely. I know exactly what it's like to work for the big boy and having that security over you, just saying this is costing me more than, you know, the money's great, but it's my mental health that I need to worry about.
Yeah. I worked for one company early in my career and we only got 2 full days off a month.
Oh my gosh.
You were on call 1 week.
Were you a car salesman?
No,
those guys.
it's a plumbing company.
Are you talking about weekends? You're including weekends?
Yeah.
Oh my
Only
goodness.
2 days, 2 Sundays. So you were on call 1 week and then back up the next.
Yeah, that's terrible.
7 days a week. And then you got.
That's crazy.
And Monday through Saturday was your normal work schedule, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Saturday.
Okay, now this is why I wouldn't want anybody to be a plumber.
Yeah, it's tough. So finding time freedom and availability is probably one of the biggest downsides to being a plumber. But you got to understand, people need flushing toilets.
Yeah.
If you have a light in your living room that doesn't work, you can wait till the next day or till Monday to call the electrician, right? But if you wake up to make a snack in the middle of the night and there's water all over the floor, you're not waiting till morning.
Right.
You're going to call somebody and they need to show up. You know, can't just be like, sorry, Miss Jones, we're trying to sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, we'll be there.
So you take a call in the middle of the night and go to somebody's house in the middle of the night?
Uh-huh.
All right. Then he's going to be in my
Just the
auto
other day,
job.
I got a call at 3:11 in the morning out in Windermere, and I had to leave. It took me 40 minutes to get there.
Oh my gosh. See,
That's a bit much.
yeah, but that's because they're a great company. So,
Right.
so I actually, I did a little clip for him before, but
Oh, yeah. She did
before
like
he's-
a whole little feature on
Yeah.
you.
before he visited the show. That's because I called him. I went on BNI. So back to BNI. Went on the BNI Facebook page and said, "Hey, I need a plumber." And your name
What was your situation again? I don't remember.
Sure. So the what was it? Did I even know where it was?
You had a leak there was water pooling in the yard.
Yeah.
And when you got back from vacation,
That's
the
what it
neighbor knocked
was.
on the door and said, "Hey, I
Yes.
think you have a leak."
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. He was like, I don't know what's going on, but between our houses, it's like completely flooded, and we had been gone for like Thanksgiving or something. So
There you go, Thanksgiving.
Exactly. So then I took the BNI recommendation and called the Drain Daddy, and I was just so impressed because you guys came out like the same day I called, like came out. And I was expecting started getting dark, getting it fixed. You stayed through the night until it was fixed. And I was like so impressed. I thought it was going to be one of these like, we'll be back to you tomorrow type situation.
That's what I would have thought too.
Never. We're fixing it now.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I want to pull that segment. Did you ever send it to him?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go to break, and when we get back, we're going to talk more with the Drain Daddy. So stay tuned.
That sounds like a lot of fun. We'll be right back. It's BaaD Radio.
That's not her being sarcastic.
No,
either.
that was the first time I met her. She, yep. It's. I was like, "I will come out now." She's like, "You're gonna come out today?"
Oh yeah, I remember. She was very, very happy.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of bad situations. Like we had a leak in our closet once, and it was old copper piping,
Mm-hmm.
and our they had to cut out a part of our closet and fix that, and then I don't know what else. We've had all sorts of issues with our pool, a leak in our pool, but again, who knows?
That's why I stayed being a plumber. There's always problems.
All right, stand by, guys. This will be the
Scheiße.
third segment of the second hour. Okay. Oh, yeah, we got to wait for Melissa, huh?
Sorry, you can start. Yeah, you can start. We'll go.
Sure.
We'll go.
What the hell did I do? Don't ask.
I got a referral for you.
Uh-oh.
My husband. We'll hire him for the install. Get a quote for an install. There.
Whatever you need, Tom.
There's your first referral from the show.
Perfect. Greatly appreciated.
Welcome
made a good
back to
decision.
BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple.
We got to do that again.
Sorry.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And with that, we're going to say this portion of the BaaD Radio is brought to you by Liberty Property Inspections. Your home is one of your most important investments, so don't trust it to just anyone. LibertyPropertyInspections.net, helping you protect your investment. I was talking with our BNI, Liberty Properties and BNI as well, and we flooded from Hurricane Ian. Like we have a sunken living room, and it filled with water, and so we had French drains installed.
Nice.
And we had some other stuff done, and so and like our policy's coming up, and so we're gonna have them out to come. What do they call it? The 4-point whatever thing. So we had, like I said, we added a lot of things to the house so that we are not in that situation again, because it really sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Like I have it's my Harry Potter room, and it didn't
Flooded, huh?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I've
so.
done a lot of French drain systems and sump pumps and stuff like that since those hurricanes. I think it opened a lot of people's eyes as to
Oh man, I didn't know
what do
you
you do with water? You know?
Yeah, I
How do
didn't
we
know
get
you did French drains.
Yeah, we do it all.
Well, that would have been another good referral too. But
Yeah, no worries.
See, now I know.
Hey.
But if anybody else needs French drains, we've got the Drain Daddy.
Yeah, we do gutter downspout water management as well.
Okay.
To get the water from the downspouts away from the foundation, and then
See, I didn't realize that was plumbing. Because to me, plumbing is the stuff that's inside the house.
if water goes through it, we do it for the
Ah.
most part. Yeah.
like that.
For the most part, if it's water related, we take care of it. And if I get clients that call me all the time, hey, I'm not sure if this is something that you guys do. Are you interested? I'm
Right.
like, well, what is it? Tell me what it is, and then I'll tell you. No, call the pool guy, or
Yeah,
or hey,
okay.
call the irrigation guy,
Yeah.
or no, we'll be out there tomorrow or this afternoon or
Yeah.
something like that.
No, because the reason, like I said, the sunken living room's in the center of the house, and in winter springs we had too much water anyway before Ian. Like we were already like the lakes at the Trotwood Park were already overflowing, and then with Ian, I think Tom told me that we got like 22 inches of just hardcore rain, and we got up after the hurricane, and our power was still on, everything was good, but we kept smelling like this earthy type smell, and I'm like, what is that? And then all of a sudden I caught through the corner of my eye the reflection of light in it was in the water.
Water in the house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so FEMA came out. You know, it was a whole thing. Insurance wouldn't touch it though because it was groundwater. I mean,
Act of God, huh?
yeah. Well, I mean, I had somebody from Coastal Claims, Daniel Rabowski, look at it to see if there was any loopholes in it, and they actually have a sentence on there that says does not cover groundwater caused by hurricane or named storm. And he was like, that is so specific. He goes, there is no loophole. And I'm like,
yeah, that was pretty bad for a lot of people. And I think that's why even last year, just before the rainy season, a lot of people will wait actually until it's already flooding and stuff and the rains are here. And then they'll call and be like, hey, we really would like to get a quote on a French drain.
right.
Man, call me in the dry season. Call me in the spring. Let's get ahead of the 8 ball here and not wait until it's flooding already.
Yeah.
It makes our job a lot more difficult.
I had never heard of French drains before. I didn't even know it was a thing, but that's what happened is that we had so much water come down and it just like kind of drained to the center of the house. And to this day, we still don't really know where it came in, like through the baseboards, through the chimney. It seemed like it was coming from everywhere, but we had a lot of moisture in the walls for a long time. And just the whole situation was terrible. And, but we've had mold assessments and we're okay. You know what I mean? That we don't have any mold going there. Do you work a lot with like mold companies?
I do. I actually just recently partnered up with a restoration company that's in my BNI network and Nasir. We're putting together our first kind of like marketing strategy together. And the goal is for me to go out on all these plumbing leaks, and then Ace Restoration is going to come out and do all of the water inspections and thermal cameras and all that stuff at no charge to the client.
Okay.
So if any time, and it doesn't matter day or night either. So if we get a call, we're going to shoot out there. And as soon as I realize that there's water on the floor, or if the homeowner tells me, hey, we just woke up and the house is flooded, I'm going to go ahead and dispatch Juan's team out there while I'm on my way to fix the leak. So we can fix the leak. They can start the water extraction and cleanup. And then the homeowner can go to bed and be like, oh, that's two things that I don't have to sweat in the morning.
Yeah, I can see where that would be really, really good networking opportunities with you, with, like I said, with the power spheres, you know, you're with the networking groups. So you said that it's a restoration company, and who else was it?
Nasir,
oh, the marketing.
From Homespun Digital.
Gotcha.
I just call him and say, hey, this is my idea. This is what I'm thinking about doing. And he's like, I got you.
I'll make it look good.
Yeah, I got some ideas. I'm like, I'm glad you do, because that's the idea that I have. I need you to make it happen. You know, he's really good at that. But I think it's really good to know that when the client wakes up, imagine that you woke up to use the restroom 11:30, 12 o'clock, 1 in the morning, and you hear a squish, squish under your feet. You're thinking insurance, who's going to dry the water? Where is the water coming from? What plumber am I going to call?
I'm going to get electrocuted.
Yeah, all of these things, right? So when you finally realize, okay, let me call the plumber. The plumber is going to come out. They're going to get the water to stop flooding the house, right? The second thing you need to do is maybe find a way to get the water that's in the house outside the house. So by teaming up with Ace Restoration, we're able to kind of dispatch both of us at the same time if necessary.
That makes sense.
Or at least I can get there and stop the water and say, hey, do you want me to have it? They'll come right now and start sucking up water.
Oh, that's so nice.
It works.
Yeah. What about like wash machines? Are they a big cause? I mean, what are the biggest thing that you see where people have leaks?
In residential, the two biggest things that cause water damage claims, catastrophic water damage, is ice maker supply line.
Really?
Believe it or not, that 1/4-inch tubing is very thin. If you don't have a stainless steel braided ice maker supply line, I recommend that you get one. As well as
I have no idea.
Neither do I.
As well as the washing machine hoses. If you have black rubber hoses or blue and red, sometimes they make them look fancy. Replace those with stainless steel braided.
I don't know.
Number two, or the two top suggestions.
Have you had like a really bad job that you've like? What's your worst job that you've had to?
What, you want clean water or dirty water job?
I don't know.
I've been covered in sewer water several times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I fell into a septic tank one time.
Oh God!
The lid collapsed, and I fell into
God. Do you have like a spare change of clothes with you?
I keep 3 extra uniforms
smart.
and a pair of boots and another pair of tennis shoes in my truck at
Oh,
all
that's
times.
smart.
So when you fell in the septic tank, did you see a lot of corn and multivitamins?
Oh my God!
she
no,
made it
no,
worse.
I
no.
saw my own lunch come out of my mouth.
That's
what
thought
happened.
so, yeah,
I saw
yeah.
someone else's lunch on me, and then my lunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
I
it
know
was
what it's
bad.
like.
It was bad.
He went through 500 yards of that.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Angela's like, and we're done. Done with that conversation.
Well, I know that one
Yeah.
time my sister and I lived together, and we had a 2-story duplex, and I was not home. But Kelly called me, and the hose to the washing machine had broke, and so the downstairs was completely flooded. And I was so scared for her because it was high enough to where some of the electrical cords were underwater.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm like, don't do anything. We got to the house. We got the power turned off. Well, I called our neighbor, and I had him turn the power off to the whole unit. And then when we got there, when we opened the door, it was like, it was from the wash machine.
So I'll give you 2 quick stories. One, I had a client in Windermere that was on a vacation, came home to water spraying from the kitchen across the entryway down into a sunken living room that had a white baby grand piano.
No.
The water had filled up the baby grand piano, cascading over the side of it, and the whole sunken living room was full of water
Oh my gosh.
from an ice maker line. From a 1/4-inch plastic tubing. To replace it, the part is about $15.
Oh my gosh. So
And
that
then-
probably cost. Did their insurance cover that?
I'm not exactly sure, but the second client down in Tampa had just sold their house. They switched their homeowner's insurance to their new home in Jacksonville, came back to do the closing. The real estate agent got there to turn the AC on a few hours before the buyer and seller showed up to do the deal, opened the front door, and water was up to the windows throughout an entire, like 5,000 square foot house, did $500,000 in damage.
Please don't say that from the ice maker
And
too.
no insurance from the washing machine line. They decided they'll sell the house with the washer and dryer, and because they didn't disconnect it to take it with them, the water hose broke.
The realtor must have been crying when she opened
I
the door.
don't even want to think
That's
about it.
insane.
Oh, all right. So we are going to break, and when we get back, we're going to be wrapping up the show. I told you it goes fast.
That's perfect.
I know. All right. Stay tuned for more BaaD Radio.
Yeah, that was a bad situation. I felt
couldn't
so bad.
imagine.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening?
Well, so the house had ended up. They had been gone for 2 weeks. The leak must have started the day they left, maybe the day after. So in the back of the house, the windows were a little bit lower than in the front of the house, so it had just been flowing out of the windowsill
So at least
out
some
into
of
the
it got
backyard.
out.
Yeah, but the whole 18 inches up around the entire house was completely saturated, and there was already black stuff growing on the ceilings. I felt so bad for them.
I feel sad. I mean, think about not just the sellers, but the buyers who think they're getting into this brand new home just to find it demolished.
Yeah,
So-
all over because the buyer said, "Yeah, we'll go ahead and take the washer and dryer." And the seller's like, "Good, we don't have to put them in the U-Haul to move."
So this will be our last segment. So at about a minute and a half out, maybe a minute, she's going to start the music. And so you'll get to give your information again, but just know that you'll have to give yours, hers, and mine too. So
Okay.
try to keep it, I don't know, 20 seconds or
Yeah,
so.
no worries.
Because she makes funny faces at me the whole
Oh,
time.
I get mad. Well, I have to do things to
I know.
fix for. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, stand by. Here we go.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And a huge thank you to our sponsor, Bolts Legal. Fear no storm with boltslegal.com. 33 tanning spa with locations in Altamont Springs and Longwood. Andrews Law PA auto accident attorney. You can reach her at andrewslawpa.com. Crazy Muscle Nutrition with their new address of 1015 Unit 129 State Road 436 in Castleberry. And just real quick, has everybody seen Bolts' her music video?
Oh, yeah, I have. Cute.
I got that song stuck in. Do you know what we're talking about?
No, send it to me. Send it to me.
Brooke Bolts is an attorney. She sponsors the show, but she was on the show last week, I think it was, and she was talking about the debut of something. And so the next day, it's a parody of All About That Bass, but it's all about that case.
Oh, nice.
And she does it in like the full like costume and backup singers. And I laughed and I was like, this is really good. But then it's like the earworm. It was
It's stuck.
stuck in my head.
That's exactly what it's probably supposed to do, right?
For the rest of the day. And I was like, I'd start singing. I'm like, dang it.
Yeah,
Good.
I met Rachel Bolt. She came.
She was in the video.
She was as a visitor at my BNI a few weeks ago.
Yeah. They're sister-in-laws. And they do a podcast together called Miss Biz. And like I said, she is an attorney. She does personal injury and she also does claims. So she does work in that industry. Do you work with attorneys on like helping them like come together with like I guess estimates, and or do you work with public adjusters?
No, that's typically on like the restoration side of it. The
Okay.
plumber we show up, we fix the leak, and we get the water back on. That's kind of our goal. Like if it's insurance claim related, we have nothing to do with that. I personally don't want to get involved with any of that stuff, right? Or
It just gets really messy.
yeah, it gets
there.
messy, and then
And then you have to wait to get paid until the
Uh-huh.
claim comes, And
we just want to come save the day and go right off into the sunset. Try to get some rest,
So I learned today a lot of interesting stuff, especially like I didn't know about the French drains. What are all the services that Drain Daddy offers?
We do a lot of residential, so we can do water heater replacements, water treatment, drain cleaning. We're really big on that. Leaks, repipes, which we do a lot of those for insurance companies.
The repipe is because they want the plastic ones or they want the metal ones?
Well, it depends, right? So just depending on the certain types of piping that you may have and the age of the piping,
Right.
a lot of insurance companies aren't covering that stuff.
What is it they're not covering? Is it the plastic ones or is it the
Well, they're definitely not covering polybutylene piping. If you open your cabinets and you see gray water lines, good luck trying to renew your insurance.
But can't you just pay to have them replaced?
Yeah, we can replace all the water lines in the house. We run it all overhead in the attic. It's a very, very common practice. A lot of people think that, repiping means you're going to bust open floors and rip all the walls out of the house. No, we can usually repipe a 2-bath house in one day.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
But I meant repiping, like if somebody has like slow drains a lot of that can be because of the piping, right?
Yeah, well, the drain piping and water piping systems are two separate systems, right? You have water in and then you got water out. So, and there's a bunch of different types of materials that they could be made with. That's why we have this very expensive camera that we can stick down your drain lines to tell you what's going on with them. We use that in all of our drain cleaning applications. But the water piping is... sometimes it's galvanized. If the house was built in the 50s, if it was built in the 90s, it's probably polybutylene. Can be copper sometimes. Even CPVC houses that are built in the past 15 years, we have major problems because the water here is so hard.
Yeah. I know that at our house was built in 1980 and we had to do repiping, but the kids' bathroom, like their shower, just will never have the same pressure as ours. And it drives them kind of nuts.
Well, there's flow restrictors inside of the shower head too that you can fix. There's a bunch of little tricks and stuff. They want to put all these water saving devices inside your fixtures, and I've had clients that buy brand new fixtures, and then when we put it in, they're disappointed with the pressure. They're like, "Oh, this is way lower than because your last faucet was giving you 3 gallons a minute. This one here is 1.25 gallons a minute. I mean,
Right.
Of course you're not going to feel
Our daughter has a lot of hair.
Yeah.
And like I said, that little slow drizzle is a little bit doesn't work good for her.
Yeah, we can remove flow restrictors because we're not in the state of
But
California.
that's not against the law or anything, is
No,
it?
in the state of California, it's heavily frowned upon, but because they're in a drought, right? So, but here in Florida, we have plenty of water.
And then just like regular, like a back or, my toilet's not working. This isn't working.
Yeah, we do everything from a drippy faucet to bathroom additions to commercial tenant build outs to drain inspections, septic repairs, even just like little upkeeps. And like if you want to touch up the current bathroom that you have, maybe get some new shower trim, put a toilet, new faucet in there. People are amazed sometimes how much of a difference it can make by just upgrading some fixtures here and there. You don't have to tear down the walls and redo the whole bathroom.
Tommy and I want to do all of that.
make
We
it
want to
look
we want to
better.
rip everything down. But
Everyone
bathrooms
does.
are so expensive.
Yeah, my the bathtub in my daughter's my daughter's bathroom, the tub where you pull the thing up for the shower to come on.
The diverter.
That's what I was gonna say. The diverter.
Sure you were.
I can't. You can't like pull it up to make the shower work. And I'm like, I think this is gonna involve because my daughter at first was like, can you just buy me a shower head because it's not working? I'm like, girl, this is not like a just buy a shower
Do you know
head.
who to
Like,
call?
oh, now I do. I didn't
easy.
I didn't think about it.
You know,
until
it's
we
so
were-
funny is when you say that. First thing I think of is duct tape. I'm like, you just tape that thing right up
Please
there.
don't. Please don't.
If you
Just
can't
call
fix
us.
it with tape, then
Call us.
I'm sorry. I'm like the tape queen.
I save a lot of people headaches. They think the same thing. Like, oh, it's something so simple for a plumber to diagnose, and clients they don't. They even hesitate to call somebody because they're afraid that it's going to take forever.
It's a whole thing.
It's going to be a whole thing. And
That's
no,
what I'm
it's-
thinking.
Well, how much do you call? How much do you charge to come out?
Our service fee is $49.
This is so not bad at all.
No. And in most cases, we allow the client to reinvest that money if they need some major repair done.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
not going to charge them the $49 if they've got to spend $1,500 or something. I'm just saying, hey, let's put that $49 to good use, right?
Right.
I do that with a lot of my drain cleaning, which a lot of companies don't do. Let's say we come out and we snake the drain, and then we need to do a camera inspection or we need to dig something up. I will credit that money, all the diagnostic proceeds, towards what the permanent solution is.
Right.
So if you need to replace the entire sewer line, I'm not going to charge you for what it took to get on the roof and snake the drain out and camera it to tell you, hey, you got to spend all this money. Let's just get this part fixed.
That's cool. So, what are some really good advice that you can give to homeowners to keep themselves from? I mean, can't really foresee the future or see what the pipes are doing in the wall, but what's some good advice for homeowners?
Know where your water shutoff is.
Like that.
That is such a good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do not know, but I know my husband does.
If you call me, I will come to your house and show you. New homeowners especially. People buy houses and they don't know, where does my sewer line leave the house and where do I shut the water off in a case of emergency?
And the tools you need to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Does that take a tool? It's
Yes.
not just like a.
Yeah, you want
It's
to
a
go to
specific
Home
thing.
Depot or Lowe's or Amazon and buy yourself a meter key, and you want to open your meter box and you want to run through a practice run. Hey, let's turn that hose bib on over there. Let's make sure we got the right valve. Let's shut this thing off and make sure that all the water turns off. It's probably the most valuable piece of advice I can give anybody.
All right.
I second that.
I'm going to write that in the show recap.
There you
Yes.
go.
So I'm going to. So right now we're wrapping up the show, and what I want you to do now, like I said, we have enough time for you to give all your contact information.
Perfect.
So let it rip.
You can find us on the web at my beautifully designed website at www.thedraindaddy.com, or you can call us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 689-227-9713, or swing by the office at 971 North Goldenrod Road, Suite 136, Orlando, Florida.
Nice. And then you have time. You're good.
All right. Do you want me to say take it slow? Okay.
No, I'm just saying you don't have to like power through it.
Okay, you can email me at melissa@strikingbrand.com. My website is strikingbrand.com, and I am on all social media platforms at Striking Brand. Nice and easy.
I know.
Just remember Striking Brand.
I know. Isn't it nice when we're not super rushed?
Yeah.
But we had a great time with you today, and we'll definitely have you back on the show for more. But I'm Angela, and you can reach me at Angela at BaaD Radio. And on Facebook, if you go to Business at a Distance, Central Florida Networking, I will let you in. And then I also want to give a huge thank you to our sponsors. The show would not be possible without you.
Yes,
so thank you for
Yeah,
tuning in, and have a fantastic week, everyone.
Thank you very much. For more information on BaaD Radio and networking right here in Central Florida, simply go to BaaDradio.com. We do this for you every Sunday from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Catch us on all the social medias, and we'll be back next week. I think it's time for everybody to say howdy, goodbye, see you later. Aloha.
Thank you.
We'll be back again next week. Thanks for listening. We love you. Mean it.
What a nice, easy end.
I like that. Melissa, I like it when you said 4 minutes.
Yeah, I figured that might help a little.
Finding like cutoff times and stuff like that.